What's going on?
Not much, not much. Accepted that job, then
Hey,
start off.
you got employed, what, within like 4 weeks?
Uh, well, it was
Three?
about a month after. Yeah, about a month after I left, and then I start on the 7th, so I won't even have
Congrats.
had 2 months off. But yeah,
How do you
but
feel?
I feel pretty good about it. The culture and interview that I went through went pretty well, and kind of cleared up all the any of the qualms I was having. So, although when we get there, who knows? But
Mm,
but it seems like a pretty legit opportunity. So
Whenever I accept an offer, I always think that I'm about to enter a alien world. Like, because I know that things are going to be, I know the environment is likely, I know the people are likely to be unfamiliar to me, right?
hmm
Even though my experience tends to always relate to, I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to articulate. I kind of have like a negative view before I even start a job of how much pushback am I going to get for my ideas? How hard do I have to fight in order to do the right thing? Um,
I
those are
have
the thoughts that cross my mind is like, I don't know, maybe it's different. It probably is different, dude. Well, no, it's not. I've worked in Pennsylvania and they were idiots too. Um,
maybe that's the problem is just the mindset, and you got to switch your mindset. I think a long time ago I came up with the mindset that when I join a place, that the first thing I should always do is try my hardest to do things exactly as they are doing it and learn it first, um, and to understand it before I start to make an assessment about what's not working or what I could do better. Um, is a better way to say it. The I had When my first job, that I worked, we had a bunch of contractors come in that were friends with the new CEO, at the time, who started just right before I was hired. And they came in and were like, "Nope, this is wrong, 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 wrong. We're going to change everything. We're doing this, da 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 da," and created a lot of work for themselves, a lot of unnecessary work, and did a lot of practices that were actually really bad. Like, I could tell you this horror story about these request and response XML structures they came up with. It was like possibly the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my career. Um, but and so after that, whenever and so like everyone hated it, and like it just didn't go well. So whenever I started anywhere after that, either as a contractor and as a new person, and a new person, it can be the same. Like, you come in and you can be very insulting, which building relationships is probably more important at first, because you need that relationship, trust relationship, and that working relationship to enact the change that you want to see, if there is change that you believe that needs to happen. Um, Doing that is to not come in and say you're doing this wrong, but to first understand how they got there, and then try to bring them along the way towards what you believe is the better way. And maybe there's a reason that they did some certain way that isn't immediately obvious, that necessitates some particular style, or whatever. And so, I mostly worry about going in, and I'm just just getting like the imposter syndrome stuff. Like, I'm here, and then I'm like, I do something, they're like, "Ooh, you did this all wrong." I'm like, "Oh shit, I did not. I did. It
uh,
works, but I don't know."
at what point, I mean, I think there's an important thing that you didn't mention yet is you have to look out for your own professional practice. Is it really serving you if you are subjecting yourself to 160 hours a month or 40 hours a week doing something that is not growing your practice or helping you get better, but instead is encouraging you to adopt bad habits. Um, and people leave organizations for that. I got off the phone yesterday with somebody that just joined or just accepted a contract. He's been there probably for like 3 weeks to a month, and like he knows that he's not going to be in a marketable position if he stays with that organization doing what that organization does for another 6 months.
Well,
It's
a marketable position in being the technologies he's using or the problems he's or she is solving.
the they have access to the technologies,
Hmm.
but they rely on an overwhelming number of junior developers to get things done, and so things are not really done uh, in a quality way, and it's just band-aid after band-aid after band-aid, and it appears to not be any type of trade-offs with gradually injecting quality into their code base.
And this person's senior.
Yeah,
Okay. But it sounds like they have a tremendous leadership opportunity then, don't they?
I mean every leadership opportunity I think has to deal with politics, but sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is. A lot of it is relationship building and trust building, right? And so, like, you could go in somewheres, and like I said, I don't think it's good to just come in and be like, ah, this is all wrong, and just I because it's not the way I want it, or whatever. Um, but if there's a real, you know, problem there, there's a real marketable thing to be like, yeah, I helped
Well,
change this organization's practices.
so you mentioned something. You shouldn't have to accept the offer to finally see what the code base is and make a decision if it's a productive environment for you to work in. It shouldn't be after the fact. Ta-da! Here's what you're going to be working on after you accepted the offer. Oh shoot, right? Like that shouldn't be the case. You should have some like inclination that of what you're getting yourself into in regards to hands-on. Like this is what you're going to be maintaining, Sean. Right? I had the opportunity to look at the code base for an offer I accepted recently.
Hmm.
And I think I understand that there's legal term. Well, we're all United States citizens, man. They could sick the law on us if we do anything nefarious. It's just not a common practice to expose the code base to people that you want to work full time on your code base before
Yeah,
you make them an offer.
I think that's where the questions have to come um, in the interview. If you're there's a particular thing you're looking for or not looking for. Like this time, I was particularly, and I told recruiters this up front. I'm like, I don't really want to join a place that has an established legacy code base that they're trying to modernize. Just, I've been in that case 3 times in a row now, and I really don't want to do that again. I want to be in either something greenfield or something that is legacy that they're happy with. Like, and that's maybe a good telltale sign is if they have a product that they're happy with and that is successful. um, that might be good. Or if they're new and they haven't established everything yet, that's good. It's that modernization step in the middle that's like where they never went back and like completely just rebuilt everything, which has to happen every once in a while, right? So, um, but yeah, I guess you could ask a lot of questions in the interview. There particular aspects of a code base you could ask. Is it test coverage? What type of test coverage is it? You
F
know,
that.
good.
Show me the code. Why do we have to dance around all these hoops? Why can't we just like
Well, just
the
ask them to describe the code to you. I
F
mean,
that?
what are
They're
you
gonna have
looking
their.
for?
That's another thing. Developers can be institutionalized, meaning that something could be not right, but because they work with it every day, over time they think it's normal, right? How many organizations have you been in where consistency of bad practices mattered more than gradually improving the code base for
Yeah,
for for improved maintainability? Like
yeah.
after a
Well,
while, you start adopting bad habits. After a while, things that a seasoned developer, experienced developer would say, "Oh no, no, this is way too distracting from what I really need to look at. This needs to be refactored so that there's less time spent on this module." Well, if you if you've been institutionalized as a developer and you've worked with the same code base over and over again, you no longer have those code smells, I don't think. It's more challenging for you to quickly identify maintenance issues or maintenance concerns. So you're having doubts in my statement.
yeah. I guess I'm just maybe like I'm like losing this idea that there's really anything. Like I'm gonna somehow find like a code base that I'm just like, oh, like this is perfect. This is exactly what should be done, or that doesn't have something like that, because so much of this is subjective, you know, and what somebody thinks is bad over here doesn't necessarily objectively make it bad. It makes it right for the constraints of the time, and right for the constraints of the continuing time after that. And so it's like if you have what appears to be a bad code base, um, it might have been written that way because they were trying to rapidly evolve something to become successful as a business or deliver value to people, which makes it harder for us to maintain as in the down the road. But that's why people engage in rewrites and big efforts like that,
And what's the
or
success rate of
continuous
that?
improvement of big rewrites.
Yeah.
Probably pretty low. I think that
Uh,
the one of the gigs I was at was an exception. They rewrote literally everything in like 2 3 years, but they were willing to take the hit for it, and that's the deal. A lot of this, you need to have clear. Um, I honestly don't think, particularly like in the code base, um, there's much you can do as unless you've got really solid, separation of concerns with regards to like domain modeling and that, and
you see our
separating contexts and purposes for things. So
Did
that's
you
like the biggest part.
see our latest or did you listen to our latest episode with Scott Blosha?
I started to. I was gonna actually ask you how the rest of it went. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet.
Uh,
I
you
got
know,
about halfway into your question part, and then I had to go from what I was doing. So
we've been having some heavy hitters, man.
comment part.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think we should be at 400 by I would say maybe next Friday. 400
Cool,
subscribers.
cool. I wish I could find a way to make coding books like audio
Comic
books.
books. They have some software development books that are audio
Yeah,
books.
some of them, like ones that are more soft skilly type ones. But
Why would someone want a coding book as an audio book?
I want to listen
Var,
to.
my variable
Yeah,
equals
I
new.
don't.
My
That's what I'm saying is there has to be a way to like a lot of things when there are graphs and stuff could use supplemental PDFs, but then just talk about the idea behind it. I mean, you could talk to me about code and explain to me the nature of code and how you did something without me actually seeing it potentially.
no, it should just be audio until it needs to show you an image, and then it should just project that into whatever lens or glasses you're wearing. And
Yeah.
then when it's done with the
Why not just put it right in your brain? Use Neuralink or whatever.
because we think differently.
Yeah. So, but anyways, funny thing happened this week though. So I was expecting to get my laptop from my new place, which I did. Um, I haven't cracked it up. I got to open it up and make sure everything works. But I got a laptop randomly on Monday, and I was kind of like sad because I was like, oh, this is my new work laptop. Or no, it was Monday or Tuesday. I was like, oh, this is my new work laptop. I'm like, oh my god, it's the exact same laptop as I had at my last place.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I got thinking about it. I'm like, no, no, the company I sent me emails, and it was supposed to be a Lenovo. This is a Dell. And I look at it, and it turns out eBay sent me a laptop. I must have got on one of their lists, and nobody told them I left apparently. So, because the with the
Oh,
buyout
okay.
of my last gig, they were sending everyone new eBay laptops for whatever reason, and so, so that laptop I got randomly left. So I had to reach out to someone to get a shipping label. Although they sent me the shipping label, and they didn't even send like a follow-up email saying like, hey, I heard that this happened. I made, make sure it's in your inbox and blah blah blah. And I'm gonna send it back, but I was surprised they didn't do me that courtesy.
You should charge them an admin fee.
Yeah, actually, I should charge them for the tape I'm gonna have to use to retape the damn thing. Because I guess if I was more diligent, I would have seen it said eBay on the side and not my new place. But
I'm still waiting on my laptop. I'm supposed to start on Monday, and I still have no laptop. And the date has been pushed back 2 times already for my start date.
how can do they have to go through like a? Is it a big place where they have to do like a corporate create, image it
Yes,
and okay.
yes, but
The
it's
place that I
very
yeah,
it's very discouraging. My start date gets pushed back 2 times. The laptop that I'm supposed to have on Monday still isn't here, and today is Friday. Meanwhile, I'm trying to do the right thing, and I'm declining requests for other opportunities in regards to other contracts. It's putting me in a compromising position, especially in the state of this economy. Can you sense my frustration?
yeah, yeah. Have you ever looked at these like AWS has these things where you can actually like get um, like desktop or PC instances. Um, I don't
Are you talking
know
about like remote in?
workspaces. Yeah, provision a desktop in minutes. End user computing in AWS. You can like you basically you could provision a workspace and then give somebody just like
I've had I've
remote
had
desktop for it.
jobs I've had jobs where I remoted into a developer machine
Yeah,
and just started writing code.
yeah. I'm not like I don't I don't know if I would like that too much, but in terms of like a way to get it to be, you know, available to someone really quick from an
What-
existing machine that they have, it's like, oh, that would be perfect.
At what point am I foolish for keep I don't know for entertaining delayed start dates over and over and over and over again?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a red flag. I mean, a
Yeah,
start date, like, I literally had my laptop in, but they didn't have to do anything to this. It's a brand new from the factory type laptop. So I'm going to have to do something to hook up to whatever because they're going to have some IT people reach out to me. Um, but yeah, it shouldn't be that slow to make to get someone going, right? This should be an SOP that's just like that.
yeah. And I think I've been struggling with depression lately. I keep trying to look at my motorcycle as a gateway drug to get out of it, but it's not working.
Hmm.
I got a lot of time on my hands, man. And it's not helpful.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I never have enough time on my hands. Like I went for like I got up yesterday. I took my kids to this camp they go to, and I went for a run. And then I like cooled down from that, and I feel like by about midday, it's like, oh crap, there's only like 2 hours left before the kids are gonna come home. Then I got to go to Taekwondo with them, and then that's done. And then it's like, all right, on to the next day. It's like- I know there's
Yeah.
hours in there that I'm just wasting, where I could be productive on stuff, but it's just like I don't. It's like I never feel like time goes by so fast now. For and I want to feel like I've got like all day, and I never do. But you're feeling. I don't know. Do you have like just waiting
It,
for the new job, or just like
I mean, it doesn't require like medical intervention yet, but I've been feeling horrible. I've been feeling horrible. Like I just have a lot of time on my hands, and like I try to maintain like a couple hours a day working on Beach Mobile code base,
mhm,
which hopefully this weekend I'll hit a milestone and have my service bus implementation like redone. But man, like I'll walk to the beach a couple times, see pretty women, get sexually frustrated, go home, hop on my motorcycle, ride around Miami. But then like I don't really get in good rides because I don't want to be in traffic. Another thing. It's like I don't know. It's like I'm finding a hard time to just show appreciation for life in general, man. It's like I'm always trying to force myself to entertain. I'm always trying to entertain myself, which maybe is another problem. But then I have all these constraints on how I entertain myself, like where I don't want it to be too stressful once I finally go out there.
mhm,
This is this. It's it. I stress for 5 minutes on if I want to go outside or not. Like I literally deliberate for 5 minutes to go across the street to the beach. So
yeah. Hmm.
something's wrong.
Do you think it's when did that start? Did it basically start after you decided you had to go back to work, or because you're kind of
It,
like in a holding pattern, right, until your new job starts? Because you can't
it,
really go whole hog on something new and then
it's
have.
it started when my son went back to Canada, and I had I assume that when you have kids, you're in a steady routine where you don't really have much time to think, and you just always respond to
Mhm,
other people's needs. But then like when he went back, like and it's just crickets. I'm like just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, not really having any like major responsibility, and I just have a lot of time to think now
mhm.
or dwell on thoughts. So
So what you're saying is you need to go and volunteer somewhere.
no, what I'm saying is I need to knock somebody up and have another kid to keep me busy and to keep my mind at play.
Yeah, that'll keep you busy for sure.
Uh,
But I don't know. You could make a big life move or something. Move away from
uh,
Miami.
well, I've been planning that too.
Move to the Philippines or whatever you said you're gonna do.
Uh,
Thailand or.
I've been planning that too. I want to get. I'm trying to build myself to a point where I make several decisions a week that gets me one step closer to making a push to go to either Philippines or Thailand, maybe for like probably minimum three months.
Hmm.
So I think I've secured a place to put my vehicles, which is out in the Midwest. Uh, the end of my lease is coming up, probably within a couple months. Which last time I was in the Philippines, I was still paying my rent here, um, and that was like $1,400 a month while I was living in Manila. But I don't know if I could pay $2,500 a month and live on the other side of the planet. Like I feel like that's kind of wasteful.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I guess I have first world problems, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because then I could go to Thailand or Philippines, knock somebody up, and father a kid, and then it keeps my mind content, and I don't have to dwell on things that aren't healthy. So
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, although
yeah, you should come with me.
maybe you'll find you have a whole host of new problems after you after you do that though. No, I can't. I got things kind of on lock here. So you should move to Alaska and become a. Then I'll come visit you for
I mean,
sure.
it's on my bucket list to. I want to do a Alaskan safari. Yeah, you never heard of a safari in Alaska? I
Like
wanna,
you want to shoot an animal, or you just want to see?
nah, I just
Oh,
want
we
to.
did that then.
I just want to
Yeah.
sit on top of a double-decker bus, like in the grassland, and watch a grizzly bear mow down a moose or something. Like,
No,
I just want to take in the nature.
we did that. We did a bus ride through Denali National Park. Although I've heard that maybe that there's some maybe that something like collapsed there or something, and now you can't get as deep in as we went. But yeah, we went on this bus, and we got to see a bunch of Dall sheep and grizzly bears and moose and a lot of Dall sheep. It was a ton of Dall sheep actually at the time that we went.
There's more than one sheep.
The Dall sheep,
Yeah.
like Dall sheep, are these like little. They're these sheep that like they climb. They're kind of like mountain goats, but they're. Wish we saw a mountain goat in another one, um, but they could like climb up rocks in those mountains and stuff like that. So they are all over hills. Well, when we went through, they were like literally in the middle of the road that we were driving through, so we got to see them like inches away from us.
Mm.
But yeah, they got big horns and stuff. They're neat sheep. I don't know. Plenty of like birds and stuff. Um, and we got to see the whole mountain, like Mount Denali, like um, or Mount McKinley as it was when I went. Like I guess that's a pretty rare thing because the atmosphere up there, like it went undiscovered for so long in term other than the obviously the natives knew that it was there, um, but like as far as Western explorers go, it went undiscovered because like when you go up there, there's like a 15% chance you'll see any of the mountain, and then there's like a 2% chance that you'll see the entire thing. And we saw the entire thing in all its glory, which was really cool because of like it's always covered in clouds and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool. Although I liked the ride down to Seaward, Alaska, and then we went on a boat and went and saw glaciers, and we only got to see one because the it was raining and the weather was just not good for it. But we saw like what the hell are those things? Those orange puffins, and we saw whales breaching and stuff like that. So
Mm.
that was really cool. Mountain goat, we saw then, seals, all sorts of aquatic life. Um, Seward's a nice little town on that, the southern part of Alaska. So
I wonder if I could be a mercenary without carrying a gun.
like a bounty
Like
hunter or
carry a camera or something.
oh, I don't know what a mercenary that would cover. Use a camera would be doing, but maybe.
Uh, I'm thinking about getting another motorcycle. Then I'm like, well, if I'm going to try to try to be an expat, how hard would it be for me to liquidate? It'd probably be easy. I just never sold. I never sold a car before, let alone a motorcycle.
Yeah, car. Those are a bit. I mean, it's a bit of a pain in the ass because it's like you're dealing with a large amount of money in title transfer. Like the title, if it's like a low price car where they can bring cash pretty easily, like oh here's $6,000, here you go. You just have like a bunch of $100 bills. If you're getting up into that like 30 grand mark or 20 grand or anywhere like 50 grand in that range, that's a bit of like okay now you need a cashier's check, like a certified cashier's check, and it's like it's you like I don't know. It can be problematic.
We would
Dealers will buy them though.
we would go directly to the bank
Yeah,
to deposit that check into my account.
yeah. Meeting at the bank basically. Do it there, um, and then you got to have people test drive it and stuff like that. And um, I don't know. You could always go sell it to a dealer, but then you're not
Mm.
going to get. You're going to probably take a
Uh,
little bit of a hit on it, but seeing you make their
I'll
money
just
back.
have to say shotgun, and I have to rent a strap to just in case they try. You know what a strap is?
Uh,
Uh,
like a
it's,
shoulder, like a
no, a strap is a gun. It's
oh
slang for gun.
okay.
In case they try to do something funny. I'm not a gun owner. I don't. I'm actually scared of guns, but I think I would have to rent a gun for doing a high price transaction.
I don't know if you could rent a gun. Just do it. They have
We'll start a business. Beach
they
Mobile
have
is going to do a pivot. We're going to rent guns
gun rentals.
to
Yeah, I
people in
mean
Chicago, to
they let
people
you
in the
rent
big
them at
O.
the yeah they let you rent them at the range and stuff like that. But I don't know
We're
if
going
they
to rent guns in Compton, Oakland, Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland. Those are going to be our initial markets.
do you ever go to one of those places where you can shoot any particular gun you want? Like they have all of
Yeah,
them.
a shooting range.
Well, yeah, yeah, shooting range, but one that specializes in having like
Yeah,
every gun. Like the shooting range in town here has rifles and shotguns and stuff, but and
I shot
handguns, but
a. We have one in Miami. I
not
think it's
like
called like Lock and
automatic
Load.
weapons. You know,
Yeah.
50
Uh,
caliber
I took I went
sniper
on I
rifle.
took somebody on a date to the gun range because I'm so
Hmm.
gangster, and I shot a machine gun and a pistol. I'm scared of guns though. I really am.
Hmm.
But,
You get along with my wife, then she's also kind of scared of guns.
because the moment you own one, your life can change regardless, right? Like for example, if you carry a strap in a car, like you really have to manage your road rage. If you can misconstrue or misunderstand a situation, and now you're in you're going to court for manslaughter. So like I guess it increases the probability of a misunderstanding or an accident.
Yeah, if you're doing a carry, I guess if you're carrying, then it can. So
Why
you have to
else?
be, but that's why you go through, you know, conceal and carry type stuff. I mean, there's reasons to own a gun in your home. You know, you keep it locked or easily accessible, but locked inside of like your glove compartment in case there's like a home invasion, not glove
Okay,
compartment,
so
whatever,
it's it's
nightstand in case there's a home invasion.
it's 10 o'clock at night. You're at a gas station in a nice vehicle
Hmm.
in a predominantly Russian or white area. Yes, you have to let's acknowledge that it's a predominantly white neighborhood. Okay,
Specifically
and
Russians, because no one likes the Russians. No,
okay, yeah.
just kidding.
So I was in Sunny Isles, and Sunny
Hmm.
Isles is a predominantly Russian upscale area of Miami. And you see a group of black guys standing outside the gas station, which I think is weird. I can't believe the cops aren't like monitoring the gas station because of that. And I fuel up my vehicle, and I sit in my car for a couple minutes trying to find a YouTube channel that I want to listen to before I pull off. And I see a guy. I see one of the guys approaching my vehicle from the rear. Right, it's 10 o'clock at night. What can this person possibly want from my vehicle as he walks maybe 30 feet from his group to my vehicle, right? And he's wearing long sleeves. Like I don't know what he has.
Hmm.
Okay. And so I'm usually pretty conscious about what's going on in my environment. So I peep in my rear view and also my side mirror that this dude is approaching me from the rear while I'm like in my vehicle. And so like I pull off, right? Why am I saying all this? Because if I had a pistol, I probably wouldn't pull off. I'll probably get it ready for him to approach my window. And for all I know, he could be asking directions.
Well,
But because I watch a lot of YouTube videos on self protection and I watch a lot of videos in Brazil, South Africa, Los
Hmm.
Angeles, Arizona, and New Mexico, the majority of videos that I see of random people approaching other people at night, they're robberies. So that's what I mean by like I don't need a gun.
Yeah, but that's a mindset thing though, because in either case, even if you had a gun, you should still drive away as quick as possible. Like
No,
that should be your
I have an ego.
yeah. But
It's one thing to be in school, whether it's high school, middle school, high school, or college, and make the conscious decision to walk away because of the consequences, right, of answering to your parents. I was more scared of my father than I was scared of anything else. But it's another thing where like you feel as if you're authorized to protect yourself, and how dare anybody have the audacity to think that they could just run up on me? I'm Scott Nimrod. Like it's the ego thing. Like you teach them a lesson. And that's the reason why I can't have a gun.
yeah,
No.
fair enough. If you, I mean, if you don't have that level of like you have to have a lot of self control if in that kind of situation. It's. I mean, there's a fair number of people that do have a lot of self control that carry weapons, and they're not going to pull that or use it or bring it out unless it's absolutely necessary. It's always the last resort kind of thing because at that point it's a gamble anyways. They could take the gun away from you. They could have a gun themselves. They could
Yeah, they could have a gun themselves. That's the only
yeah,
reason
and
why.
it's a 50-50 then, and you it's better to just leave the situation if you can or
Well, it's not 50-50. They have the advantage because they're just like a cop or a state trooper. They're approaching from the rear,
I'm saying if you
right?
have yeah I
So
guess
they get first drop
yeah. But I'm sure, yeah, there's still
unless you
kind
have
of
tinted
like who
windows.
knows how it'll happen, or go down. So, it could be, not a problem at all, but it's yeah. So, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
You should get a strap. It's
My
like, what do
dad
you do,
left
Scott?
his here for a while when he was remodeling his house, but
Yeah.
no, I was like, oh, I'll put this lock on it and throw it up in the closet where the kids won't ever get it, and fine. But I've got a high powered pellet gun that I keep in my room, and I've got throwing knives.
What was that for? Like rodents or
Rodents, yeah,
okay?
basically. I shot at it not to. I shot at the ground next to. Let's be very to a cat to try to scare it off once because that thing hits the ground and just I wouldn't shoot to kill a cat because it's somebody else's pet, but there's this cat that was coming around and I was bothering my cat, so I was just like, all right, I'm gonna scare the shit out of this thing. So I shot the ground right next to it, and that thing scurried off, and I haven't seen it since. So,
That's cool.
but we have chipmunks, man. I should actually go out and hunt down these chipmunks if I can.
No, just buy a ferret or not a ferret. Buy a mink.
Mink, yeah, I should because you know what? These it's weird. I don't know what it is this year. I have never seen so many chipmunks in my life, and I thought I was the only one. But suddenly my mom is like, "Yeah, we've seen so many chipmunks this year. It's really weird." And I was like, "You know what? I
Chipmunks are
saw them
cute
too."
though. They're cute
No,
though.
they're like mice now, man. They are like when you have one that's just like over in the woods and he's scared because there's so many squirrels and shit around. These are like digging into my like freaking. I've got like 4 or 5 of them digging
Squirrels
around
eat
my thing.
chipmunks.
No, no, I don't know if they might
Oh,
chase them off or whatever because they're after the same resources. But
chipmunks
chipmunks
are
are like
cute. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. They're all cute.
they like
So
ground burrowers though, so they're like they have holes and stuff. So whereas
you get it.
squirrels are nice, they
Alvin,
like live in the
Simon,
yeah
Theodore.
Theodore yeah the chipmunks yeah.
The chipmunks.
Christmas time is
Something,
here.
something
Yeah.
bright in your day. We're the chipmunks. Something, something here to stay. Do, do. I used to watch that cartoon faithfully.
Uh,
Beach Mobile is like never ending story.
yeah, that's what every startup probably should be until it ends.
You want to buy the code base from me?
No, I've gleaned enough of the intellectual property. I could just recreate it in a weekend.
$200. I'll sell you the code base.
No, 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 no.
You
That would
haven't
make
made
it
a
a
decision
monotone.
on you haven't made a decision on what language you're going to learn next.
I don't know. I'll just keep in C sharp. Probably it's my bread and butter.
I'll I think I'm going to learn Rust next. I think Rust is going somewhere,
Is
and then I
you
get to do
need
some firmware development.
isn't the idea that you need one systems language, one dynamic language, and then like one strongly typed application language? So it's like C, C sharp, and JavaScript. Like
I try to learn Clojure. That didn't work out well.
try to learn Elixir.
I
It's a
mean,
dynamic language
most
though.
people already know JavaScript, right? I don't think JavaScript would take too long for me to learn. I just can't support that language.
JavaScript's fine. I mean, it's a dynamic language. It's
Yeah, I could probably learn Python in like a couple hours.
yeah, Python's super easy. I
I
mean, to
think
learn, to master, it's probably a long time, but
you're a real developer when you can pick up a Lisp language and then a FP language. You can kill two birds with one stone. Well, actually, it is two. Yeah, when is Lisp not an FP language?
I thought JavaScript was based on Lisp,
Who said that? I very much doubt that.
or is inspired by it. Um,
If it was inspired by it, then you would see parentheses all over the place in regards to the syntax.
Maybe it's Scheme. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, you mean racket?
I don't know.
So who's the next heavy hitter we got to get on tech conception?
Who is the next heavy hitter that you need to get on tech conception?
I want to get like I want to get a female,
Who's the next
preferably like
female?
Asian, like Korean, Chinese, Japanese. I want someone from the other side of the planet. We already had Yin. I, okay, phonetically it's Yan Curry, right? But then it's pronounced Yin Trey. Like
Hmm.
I want to get a female version of that. I want to have a translator too. Like I want to tap into like the Asian market where like they don't have an influence in Western software engineering. I really want like I want to interview or I want to have a professional relationship with someone that's like kind of alien to Western culture that's still that does a lot of engineering.
Yeah, I'd have absolutely no idea how you'd find someone like that.
So it will require four people: Odie, me, the Chinese, Japanese, Korean person, and then their translator. And it'll sound like a United Nations like symposium or something where like every question takes like 2 minutes to get feedback because then they have to say it to them in their native language. They respond in their native language. Then the interpreter translates it back to English. I want to do a show like that
Hmm.
and frustrate everybody that's listening.
You know what you should do to find your next editor is just to pick like a top, like some top conferences, go to their speakers page for their whatever the next one is, and get like 10 people who look kind of decent and contact 'em. I don't know.
What should the topic be for what show? What content would you want to see?
What would I want to see?
Don't say microservices. Don't say agile.
I was gonna say I want to hear. There's this person that I follow on Twitter, and it is about agile, but it's not. It's about he's writing a book, I think, and I think you'd agree with a lot of what they say. Let me find the guy. Oh,
Is
his
he
name.
older, white, and he has a beard and glasses?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Alan Holub.
Yeah,
Every single tweet of his, I was like, yeah, yeah,
because he's polarizing.
yeah. He is super polarizing, but he says, but I think you have to be in order to get like. There's just there's so like I don't know. Everything he says just makes sense to me. It's like, yep, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Yep, that's what I think.
I wonder how many times he's gotten fired.
Yeah, and maybe he's just this way on he's expressing strong opinions, but he might not. He might be personable in it when he's talking to you in person, and he might not go into a place and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be just polar." I think he probably wouldn't get a lot of jobs or anything.
No, I mean they know who they're hiring, right? And so I still think he probably gets fired a lot, just due to politics and him uh,
Well, unless he delivers.
showing people, well, when it's politics, you can't do it by yourself. I think every Trump learned that, right? So Alan Hullub, I help
Yeah,
people build software better.
yeah. He's
Uh,
got his whole process like listed on his services page for his thing, and I think he's writing a book, if I'm not mistaken. And
Only
yeah,
verified users can send direct message requests to people they don't follow. So
yeah,
I need to follow them first.
or go on Mastodon or Blue Sky or whatever might
It
be a
says I'm
way
following him. Why can't I? The freak. Subscribe today. Subscribe to what?
to well, I guess it's X now, but it was Blue, but now it's verified.
What? I have to pay money to send him a message?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
I'm Scott Nimrod. I don't pay for ish. Um, Unfortunately, I don't know how to get in contact with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I could send a tweet and tag him and see if he responds.
or let me see here. He literally has a contact on his webpage. I'll give you his email is right there. If you go to his about page. I don't know. I was just curious. I'd like to. I wonder. I'd actually wonder. I haven't seen him talk. I should really just go find a talk of his and see if he's what he talks about. Um, but that's the kind of stuff that I'd like to see. I guess if you say what I want to hear, but these are the kinds of ideas I want to see evangelized. Is more about that. You know, agile isn't canned Scrum. It's a more of a process of improvement, and I don't know. Like I said, I follow. I don't even think I was following him for the long time, but he always showed up in my for you page or whatever. Now I'm following him, um, but he always says a lot of provocative things that feel provocative towards, but I've thought in my
Well,
head for a
he
long time.
he takes a dump on mainstream practices of agile.
Yeah, yeah. There's a name. Was it? There's this like law that he pointed out. I don't know. Maybe it was somebody else. Um, about how basically like, oh god, I wish I remembered which one it was. He tweets so much I'll probably never find it.
I'm gonna say, can two minorities interview you on development or on the software engineering? Like, how do you get him to respond and not immediately delete the multitude or the myriads of emails that he has?
I have no idea.
I want to pull the race card and see if he says yes. I want to help underrepresented people in tech. I don't know how to. I don't know how else to get him to like open the email and respond.
I would try this cold email first. Just say interview request or something like that. Send them your channel. Tell them just be. You don't know that it's not going to work. You're projecting the idea that it's not going to work.
I'm projecting the idea that
And
he's a
this is
thought
about anybody
leader
you're going to
and
talk to.
he has a private life and he has a whole bunch of people that wants his time.
Yeah, he's also a public life and a consultant, right? So he wants to probably evangelize because he needs to market it. It's a lot of this stuff is about marketing yourself, right? So, but yeah, that'd be one person. Just because I just would like to hear more about his ethos on this stuff in non miniature bites. And I also like to hear how it's just going. Like, like are companies opening to this? Is it like, I don't know, like this one? It's worth considering the amount of time wasted in Scrum in planning and worrying about the mechanics of the sprint. It's better to think, I think, to stop with the sprint related planning and do some actual work. Like that is an exact thought that I've had, like, and that I think I expressed in like one of my interviews. Like I just, it's like you get into things and you spend so much time about the semantics and working in Jira and all this stuff. It's like literally all you should, and this is something that he was saying. It's like literally you should just have like you, if you were to have a like, and I don't even think he espouses Kanban, but it's like you have you should only have a to do and a done pile. Like, right? There's no need for any other states in a thing, because to do implies that it could be being done, and to move it to in progress is like has this like alternative like meaning. I don't remember exactly what he said, um, but yeah, I'm intrigued by it. Oh yeah, because Kanban is about finding bottlenecks in value streams, um, is what he says. So um, otherwise, it's just like a status report, and um, yeah, and it's minutia, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm sending him an email.
Yeah, I don't know. But there was this one law that he pointed. I think it was him who pointed out. I just, oh gosh, maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it was like, I wish I remembered what it was called. It wasn't a Conway's law type thing. It was more like in an organization, people will like um, gravitate towards the what is like what is established or something. I can't remember.
And would value your thoughts on the business of software development. Development.
Or maybe it was this
Hi,
law.
Alan. My name is Scott Nimrod. Can we interview you on our YouTube channel, Tech Conception? We've interviewed other thought leaders and would value your thoughts on the business of software development. Does that sound okay? Or do I need to write an essay?
No, I'd keep it short. I mean, do you send a link to your channel? I would
Yeah,
say,
yeah, I'm going to do that.
yeah, or just say if you know if you don't want to click the link, just say the name of it, Tech Conception, and say search for it on YouTube. Should be, but yeah. So this is the one that somebody pointed out to me. It's called Larman's Law. Larman's Law of Organizational Behavior. Have you seen this one?
Negative.
So it's the laws. Organizations are implicitly optimized to avoid changing the status quo. Middle and first level managers are specialist positions and power structures. Um, so as a corollary, any change initiative will be reduced to overloading the new technology to mean basically the same as the status quo. Any significant change initiative will be derided as purist and needing customization for local concerns, which deflects from addressing the weaknesses and managers' specialist status quo. And culture follows structure. So, um, if you really want to change culture, you have to start with changing structure because culture does not change otherwise. Um, yeah, this is what was the one I was thinking of. It's kind
Who
of
wrote
another
that?
one to add to your probably whoever Larman is. I don't know. I don't know where it's come from. I wonder if it's in Wikipedia at all. That would tell me. Craig Larman is a Canadian computer science born in 1958. He's best known for his formulating less large-scale Scrum and for several books on product and software development. Hmm. That must be him.
Sincerely, are you still running?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I've got, and I'm dogging it for some reason. But I don't know. I have a half marathon. Let me see. It was September 16th. It's about 6 weeks away. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks from tomorrow. Um, but man, I tell you, I try to get anything beyond like and even it's been so hot last couple of days, but even up to a 5K has been I've been struggling a bit with it. But I've got to buckle down and do a lot of more training this next month to try to get ready for it. Um, but the other thing I did all week. I'm going to try to do is because I need to like drop weight so that I'm not putting so much pressure on my feet when I'm running. So I think that's really what's killing me in terms of a lot of this stuff. So I'm riding heavy. Um, so I've started to do like 20-4, like a fasting schedule. So like I won't eat today. Well, today will be kind of an exception because I'm gonna go to after I'm done kayaking with my dad later. I'm gonna go to get some fish tacos or something. Um, but over the last few days, I've been not eating until like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I'll shut it down around 7, 8, and then I usually just eat one meal basically, or one big meal, and then like a couple snacks afterwards. So I'm trying that. The first few days were a little bit struggle, a bit of a struggle, but I think I'm getting into a groove now where my body's adapted to it a little bit. So trying to drop, I need to drop like, I need to try to drop like 20 pounds or something.
I would like to. I would like to drop 10 more pounds. I've been working out pretty consistently, and I've been. I don't know if we had this conversation, but I've been like all my workouts for the most part, with the exception of abdominals, have been like focused on like hypertrophy, where like I either have 0 reps left or I have like maybe I could squeeze one more rep
Mm-hmm.
in the last set of my workouts. So I'm starting to realize gains, and I'm starting to have people off the street kind of like reference my physique, uh, which is encouraging. So
Cool. Cool.
I
You
just
running some
hate
backwards still?
I hate working out. I hate it.
How can
I
you
hate
get
it.
yourself to like it?
What's that?
You just need a gym buddy then, and you'll go and like it. Like
I need to be 20
in
years younger.
competition.
Well, that too.
No.
It's lonely. I burn 500 calories in my brain just thinking about the stress of working out, just visualizing how I have to do like 4 sets just to get the results of that last 1 or 2 reps. And I get so stressed out thinking about the amount of effort that I have to put in before I even start doing the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna try to do incline today, and I'm dreading it. It's lonely. I used to work out on the beach. That would take like half an hour to 45 minutes for me to stage all the equipment, pull it to the beach, set it up, and then
Hmm.
do my workout, and then tear it down, and then drag it back to my crib. I hate working out. I haven't done cardio in a week because my right knee keeps hurting every single time I stretch and prepare to run backwards. I haven't ran backwards in a week. I was consistently doing 3/4 of a mile, and then my right knee just started bothering me again, which I didn't expect. And I fractured my right heel like a year and a half ago, and it still hasn't healed.
Oof.
Hasn't healed. Every time I wake up in the morning, it I'm reminded of it not healing. So
Hmm.
I left up, Sean. I'm scared to buy a gun, and I hate working out. So
And your job isn't sending you an email or a laptop in enough time, and
third world or first world problems,
first
I
your
guess.
problems.
I keep trying to remind myself it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, you could have to go. I don't know. Actually, it sounds fun to go hunt
And I
down
gotta go
one.
overseas and make another baby to keep my mind occupied.
You don't have to go overseas for that.
Yeah, I do. Or else, like, if I do it here, then I'm going to have the state of Florida like try to get 10,000 a month out of me for child support, and I'm not interested in that. So I gotta do it overseas where the United States doesn't have a treaty for child support. So
Why don't you go the old-fashioned route and find a nice lady and settle down first and have a dog together?
where's she at?
South Dakota,
Where's she at? Find me. This is me being a chauvinist.
the Midwest.
Where can I find a nice lady that hasn't been conditioned by social media to have unrealistic expectations of a husband that her father doesn't even measure up to?
Not in Miami. Come back to the Midwest.
Oh,
Not Ohio
Cleveland,
either.
Detroit.
Ohio is like a Ohio's like a that's a borderline Midwest state. It's not even.
It's Midwest.
Yeah, but
It's on the
it's like
boundary.
it's on the boundary. It's you get a mixed bucket there.
To
So
me, to me, Pittsburgh is Midwest, but
yeah,
everybody, 100% of everybody disagrees. They're like, no, that's East Coast. I'm like,
it's right
Pittsburgh?
next to the coast though.
It's not.
It's like,
Pittsburgh is on the western. I
can
would
you
argue
drive
like
there in a day? Like
no.
like
Pittsburgh is a 3-hour drive from Cleveland.
yeah, but it's what is it
But
to New
the
York?
culture, it's a Rust Belt city. the The culture feels like Midwest.
I'm
I mean,
saying don't go to a Rust Belt like or a industrial Midwest. Go to a farming area Midwest. That's maybe the difference.
I think I would convert to like Amish to find a nice wife.
Let's see.
I don't think I have any other choice. How do you find
Oh,
someone
I'm
that's
thinking of
not?
Philadelphia is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, no, but I
Because
mean,
Philly is basic is a coastal like city basically.
yeah, but Pittsburgh, I mean, everybody, 100% of everybody says Pittsburgh is East Coast. And I mean, that might be
Yeah,
true,
I
but
would
it
say it
it
is.
feels like the Midwest when I'm there.
No, well, see, when I think Midwest, I'm like talking Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, South North Dakota.
Uh, Detroit, Chicago.
No, see that's like
Detroit and Chicago are Midwest.
that's like a different. Yeah,
You're
I
you're
know.
saying that because it's not farmland and
Yeah,
they're
I'm saying when
big
yeah.
black cities, and you're like, no, big black cities can't be Midwest.
No, no. Well, Detroit isn't per se a big black city. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know.
What's the biggest city in Michigan?
I thought it was hugely
It
white though.
has basketball, football, hockey.
All right, go to the Midwest, but it has to be west of the Mississippi. There you go.
I don't even know where the Mississippi is.
Well, it goes from like
It's the
northern
Louisiana
Minnesota
Purchase was
down
west of the
through,
Mississippi.
huh?
Was the
Yeah, I think so.
Louisiana Purchase west of the
Yeah,
Mississippi, or
yeah.
defined by the boundaries of the Mississippi River?
I think you'd fit right in Rapid City.
So is Narlands? No, Narlands is the South. What's the Midwest? It's your Missouri, Minnesota, Wisconsin,
So to me, like I said, Ohio is kind and Michigan are kind of right on that. Those are like border states for the
fringes.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Like you could imagine if the United States, let's just say it was fully populated equally across
Indiana.
regions, like every state was equal. Like you could assume that Michigan and Ohio, if we're going to break the country up, would either fall into the Midwest or would go into the East Coast
If there were
states.
a civil war, I would be with the Midwest. I'll be
Yeah,
setting up IEDs for the Midwest.
possibly even Indiana. But then you get into Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota. I think that those are the like key block. If you take basically every state that touches Iowa except for North Dakota, would you include North Dakota?
If there were a civil war, would you fight for the Midwest or would you like defect to the East Coast?
Oh, I'd be for Midwest. I don't know why I would defect for the East Coast.
You'll see videos of me on my knees, putting on my bandana, praying, and then I'll like do a video of bombings on like I don't know, Philly or something,
Because yeah, so Montana,
Baltimore.
Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. Those are mountain states. And then you've got West Coast, which is Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and California. I wonder if you could take this by like time zone. Is a pretty good delineation. But anyways, if you go to a grain like a grain belt or a corn belt state rather than a you might have a
Rust Belt.
different yeah rather than a rust belt state you might have a different experience with people. There's a lot of you know I don't know there's a lot of good people in these states. So
I will have to convert to Amish to find a good wife. Like I said, the expectations are just unreasonable.
I do not get that at all around here. Like
Weren't you in town? No, you were in Orlando.
I can see it in Miami because I know what you mean. But you don't have to go. You don't have to become an Amish person. Like
I do.
no,
They can't have electricity.
yeah.
I don't even think I could convert to Judaism. Like I think I would literally have to get with someone that doesn't have a cell phone, that doesn't have social media, that is
No, you.
focused on being a traditional wife and not distracted with anything else. When I was working a contract in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, like I think there was like a Amish convention. Like I went to like a Burger King, and it was like 50 Amish people waiting in line.
Hmm.
It had to be a convention. I
Hmm.
don't know what they talk about, but
My dad always told me he's kind of weird. And I don't. So he's like, you should try to find an Eastern European girl. I'm like, well, why? He's like, because they'll basically be able to talk nuclear physics with you and then make you a really good meal. I don't know. Maybe
it,
you're the one with the standards too high, and that's why you're finding all the wrong
my
gals.
standards are low. Don't talk back and just have peace. That's it, and be fit and be proactive when it comes to procreation, even if we're not purposely
All
intending to
right.
procreate.
So those gals exist, and you got to ask where do they live, and what are they doing if they're fit and they're like whatever. But they're gonna be strong willed though probably then if they're fit. So
I want a
they
chick
might talk
that
back.
that's disconnected from social media, that
All
is
right.
grounded on earth. And
Go and find someone who works in the wilderness areas then, because they don't
we
they
talk
don't
about
mess
the
around social
Alaskan
media.
safari,
Yeah, actually, go work.
go to a Native American reservation or something.
No, no, no. Well, you can. I mean that, but go work like
We should go together.
you should go work a
You'd be my wingman.
go like work a like a touristy type area in like one of the remote regions or places where there's wilderness, and then you find some ladies there. So like Denali, Alaska, or the Grand Canyon, or like Maine, like up in the like the top part of Maine, where it's all like wooded and stuff. Um, where the hell? Where's that? We went to Maine and we did a.
I'll go on Tinder first to see if I can find any in those locations.
And then use like a different use a different one other than Tinder maybe. Do you know that in Minnesota, and I don't know if
Squirt,
this is, there's one called,
squirt. You know what
oh yeah,
squirt is?
here, no, but there's this,
Squirt is the alternative lifestyle dating app. It's called Squirt.
there's a,
I think the name is like phenomenal.
there's ads going on here for it, but it's called farmersonly.com. It's like a,
Uh,
it's just a farmers
it,
dating site.
I remember seeing the commercial like 10 years ago, probably longer, like at like 3 in the morning on like that website. It's a great idea.
Isn't there more like OK Cupid and those ones like rather because
There's what's that Christian dating site? eHarmony.
eHarmony isn't. It's Plenty of Fish is the Christian one, I think. eHarmony is just, a normal one. But there's other dates. I don't know. I don't think of Tinder as being like a. I don't think of it as a way to find people that are really
You
good.
don't think it's a way of finding of sourcing a housewife?
No, no, not at all.
Are you sending me messages?
Oh,
Let me
I was
check.
just sending that farmers only one, but I sent you that other
Is
farmers.
this safe for me to click?
Yeah, yeah, it should be. No, I intentionally send you spyware and spam.
I love the photo on the homepage.
Right?
Jebediah and his wife.
It's too bad Gambler isn't on. I was going to ask him if he's been on farmersonly.com.
There is someone observing it earlier. Yeah, he's probably
He
on.
always he always says hi though.
Oh, he always announces himself.
I think so. Gosh, where was it that I? Oh man, I'm trying to remember where in Maine that I was. That was really like it was like up north part.
Trying to remember the capital of Maine off the top of my head. I can't remember the capital. In fifth grade, we had to memorize the capitals of every state.
Yeah,
I can't remember Maine. Oh, what is it?
Augusta, maybe is that the?
I mean, capital of Maine.
Oh, Moxie. Here's Moxie. That means
Yeah, I would have never. No,
must be
it says
here.
Augusta.
Yeah, it is Augusta. I'm looking at where I was. It's the in by the river on the Forks. Yeah, I went whitewater rafting up in Maine with my wife a few years ago. This was actually many years ago now, but um, this Three Rivers whitewater rafting. Then it's right next to Moxie, which is where that drink Moxie it comes from, and the term Moxie, having Moxie, comes from, which is kind of associated with that drink. So
All the photos look, or maybe because that's Augusta that I'm looking at. All the photos of Maine look like rural. Hold
yeah, well, it's a hugely like wooded rural state. Like,
I don't think I've ever met anybody from Maine.
yeah, see, this is what you got to get into these like different places. You know, you're
Wonder what the
going to all the
people.
big cities. You got to
Wonder
go
what
to
the
small
people in Maine
cities,
look like.
mid-sized cities. They look
Down
just like
syndrome.
everyone else.
Down syndrome. They interbreed.
You got to go out to Montana. You'll find your love of your life there, or North Dakota.
The love of my life is in Bangkok. It's a lady boy.
Oh man,
There's a reason why I only have one viewer.
it's because of me. We'd watch you, but Sean's so freaking boring. He doesn't talk about Bangkok at
Surprisingly,
all.
my subscriber count fluctuates between like like 397 and 399 or 290. How many subscribers do I have on here for my Bizmonger account? Crap. How do I switch accounts? Yeah, it fluctuates between 397 and 399.
You know, it's a great way to get a find a good gal. Go back to college, like on campus.
Like that movie Unnecessary Roughness,
Oh, I don't
the
know,
the
maybe.
40-year-old quarterback.
Oh yeah, sure.
You never saw that movie?
Unnecessary roughness. No.
You should watch it. It came out, I would argue, probably, I mean, it came out in the early 90s. I would say probably like 92, maybe.
It looks familiar. I don't. I might have
It's a
seen it. I don't
comedy.
know.
Let me see how good my memory is. Was it
Oh yeah,
92?
with okay,
It's 1991.
91. Yeah, yeah. Hello, fellow kids. Find
Yep.
like a nice like small college somewheres.
Go to a community college.
You'll be the hit of the world because you could buy liquor for everyone, as illegal as that is.
Oh,
I wonder
dude,
how
I
like
was
colleges have changed with pot being legal in places.
probably the same policy as alcohol. It's still like zero tolerance.
Yeah,
I
probably.
was, dude, I graduated college. I think I was 25 when I graduated from the university. And I remember walking through the dorm with a Corona in my hand, and they had a meltdown. I'm like, and I'm by myself,
Yeah.
and like I have a Corona. I had a Corona in my hand, and they flipped out on me. I'm like, what? Like, what's the problem? They did not like that. I'm like, what did I do that was so disgusting?
Now
Uh,
that's something that if
so
I
imagine
could,
if I had a joint in my hand. If I got reported and reprimanded for having a Corona in my hand, imagine like a blunt. So
you know, going to school to learn isn't specifically to learn and get like a new job isn't something I'd want to do again. But if I had like the money and time and just like could just go there just for the experience of learning with other people in a place where like everyone's excited and kind of going at it, whatever, and having that, I'd do that again. Like I had a lot of really good times just in like the computer science lab at Bemidji State where I went. It was
so
just like,
you would go and hang out with a whole bunch of 19-year-olds.
well, no, probably not. I mean,
Yeah,
well, we had,
they need to have a college for people that have
yeah,
midlife crisis.
yeah, we had an
Midlife
older,
crisis.
like we had older than average students, right? But they're never like they're living in the dorms usually, unless they're like, like I don't know,
Yeah.
like unless they never went originally and they're like unwed mothers or whatever or something like that. Like there, I never saw like an older than average dude. Um, Although you know what's funny, when I went to community
Well, it's
college,
considered average. I told you I didn't graduate until I was 25.
I'm thinking people in their like 30s or late
Well,
late 20s is older than
when did
average.
you graduate? Like 20?
Huh?
When did you graduate the university? At like 20?
Uh, no, I think I was was I 22 maybe? Let me see. It was 22 or 23 probably
Okay.
because I had, so let me see. I took a year. I was off a year after high school, and then I still took like 5 years. So
Took me 6. I did 3 years community college, 3 years university,
I did 2 years of community. The first year was a total waste because I was doing like
and I
I
didn't
wasn't going
go.
for an AA the first like semester or two. Um, but then I went for an AA in 1 year. So had I not had that 1 year, I would have been probably been out of community college in a year.
And
Because
I think I did. I think I one is college wasn't planned, so I didn't go to college. I think I can't do the math, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't like 2 years out of high school. So
yeah, but hey, you go back to that's an idea. Just go back to college.
go to the military. That's an alternative.
I did see an ad somewheres that they were looking for older people to join the military.
Well, we would be officers, wouldn't we?
You could.
No, I think you would be an officer if you have a college degree, right?
Yeah. Huh.
So we would already have rank or clout. Come on, Sean, man. I'm looking for a BFF. Let's join the military. We got to do it together.
I told you little known fact, and I'm somebody never will see this, was that I did join the Air Force.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, out of high school.
I didn't know it was the Air Force, but you told me that you joined the military and then you kind of struggled.
Yeah, yeah. I medical discharge, but yeah, I think I told you that off the air though, maybe last time.
Yep. All right. So I think by next Friday, I would like to, I would like to say that things are ready for production. The service bus has been refactored, and I added a carrier feature. It works pretty much identical to the
Courier.
courier.
All that. See, that is a mistake. I'm telling you. You cannot put two like sounding terms in the same app.
I agree. You know how much code I have to go through across a whole bunch of different repos to change carrier to supplier?
I know. Just do it gradually over
It's gonna.
time.
I mean, it's going to create hella new errors
Yeah.
because I'm not going to be able to get everything right the first time, and I'm likely to spend another 2 weeks trying to resolve the issues.
Anyways, yeah.
I wish it was a. What is it? Is it grep where like you just use like the command line and it just goes through all the files and does a replace?
Yeah. I mean, I used to Visual Studio Code and do that, look for it too. Um,
I had someone, and I'll get off of this briefly or soon. I had someone reach out to me. It's like, hey, I got this idea for an app. I want to create like a a realty or real estate app, kind of like Zillow or something, except it includes the whole ecosystem. So like when you want to buy a house, like you can also purchase like a dog walker and you can purchase like what are the other examples?
Lawnmower
You get to
service
see
and
what restaurants are nearby and other businesses because you know when people purchase real estate, they kind of want to know like what accommodations are in that area, and I was like, how's that different from Google? He's like, oh yeah, that's a good question. I've never been asked that before. But it's gonna take off though. So like, you want to work with me on this? I'm like, I don't, I'm like, I don't see the, I don't see how this is a game changer. Like, people go on Google or Google Maps when they need this. Does this really need to be in one application? And plus, not everybody that buys property actually moves into the property. They just buy it as an investment. And but he was adamant that this was going to be like a project that's worthy of Y Combinator. And I'm like, yeah, I'm focused on my project right now. And I was trying to, I was like, have you considered pivoting your idea? I was like, Beach Mobile, it was all about food delivery, with restaurants, and then now it's about equipment, right? Chairs and umbrellas. He's like, nah, this this is going to sell. I'm like, okay. I don't know how to tell people they have stupid ideas,
Yeah, it's
which you probably said the
well,
same thing about me.
no, no. I mean, that's the thing is that it's not a stupid idea in terms of well, starting originally with the food delivery. It's a known, successful thing, and it was peak COVID time, right? Or no, did you
uh,
start this before COVID or was it after? I can't
I
remember.
I started before COVID.
Yeah. Well, going into it, it was already a proven thing, or at least it was being proven out. But there was a niche there, or a small thing, in that you couldn't deliver to the beach. It made sense. It's like here's a successful thing, but here's a new take on it, where it's not serving a market. So it's like do the exact same thing. Um, but then yeah, there's definitely complications with that and scaling issues and stuff like that. But then you also say the rental business out there, and um, having it all cash based and all that kind of stuff isn't exactly conducive to everybody's wants or whatever. So it makes sense. There's needs there. You've already proven there's a need. You haven't proven that there's a huge need, but you've proven there's a need because you've had customers. That's like your first feedback thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get phone calls, and I'm like, my phone is programmed to like Google Voice,
Hmm.
so it'll be like Beach Mobile customer, and I'm like, man, I am not interested in delivering anything. I'll just let the phone ring.
Yeah, but you've proven that now you might be tarnishing your name with that, but you could always rebrand right from Beach Mobile. But by not responding, because you're not going to get anything. But you're not really trying to grow. But you've proven there's people literally are calling you. They want these things, like,
Bro,
and they want a service that will do that. Maybe it's not a software solution though. Maybe there's a way you can, like, I don't know. And maybe you write the software for it, but you know if you don't want to answer those, find somebody who does and set them up. You know,
yeah, I don't think I have anything else to share.
I don't even know if the code base is. I mean, you put a lot of work into it, but that's not the valuable thing. It's all the other stuff you've done to actually attract people.
I think the
That's
most
valuable.
valuable thing of that code base is me increasing my bill rate
Yeah.
when I am employed, right? So now I'm like a cloud architect. Go
I,
figure.
I thought you were going to be principal front end though for this next one.
I am, but
Yeah.
my last role was a domain architect, but I was doing Azure.
Hmm. Cool. I suppose it's been like an hour and a half here. Probably should let you go. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for the encouragement. I'm about to just sit down with my thoughts now and burn calories in my brain. And
go play a game of Halo. Halo. What was it?
I haven't played Call of Duty or any
Halo
of those
Wars.
games in a while. It's
Games are a good way to feel like you've accomplished
disconnect.
something while you're not accomplishing anything.
Oh, we unlock achievements. Do you play video games?
Yeah, I primarily just play League of Legends though. Occasionally I'll go to play Age of Empires 2 or like some other game, but um, like 99% of my gaming is League of Legends.
You
So
don't play chess?
no, not really. I mean,
No.
I have before, but I don't know if I have the patience to think about those kinds of like
It's stressful.
strategy, pattern strategies, and all that stuff like that.
I got slaughtered by elderly Ukrainian lady last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why my dad said you should find a Eastern European gal because she'll beat you at chess and then she'll make you dinner.
That sounds good. On that note, all right, we'll catch up.
All right.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.